Oh my god, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I think I'm done. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Fennessy back with another video. Today, everybody, we're going to be reviewing all the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. The literal video nobody asked for, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of reviews out there that are already done. But I'm going to make my review, since Diary of a Wimpy Kid Diaper Overload has been released. And I did one last year on my own channel, and it's thought, so I'm going to make this video as quick as I can. So basically, yeah, I'm going to be ranking all books, 1 to 17. So let's get straight into the video. We're going to start from worst to best. First up, so starting from the worst one is Double Down. You're probably wondering, why? Now I've heard that Double Down is actually one of the most hated books, just because the ideas, well, double down. But here's the thing, I literally fell asleep during this book. Like, not a single thing was original or relatable, and it was just bland and boring, like, to be honest here. I don't really know where the author got the ideas from, because I'm pretty sure there's probably none, and it had to be inspired. But this book was definitely really boring, and this was actually the first book where disasters started happening at the end, instead of some, you know, accurate, relatable ones. Which that means this one's off the list for now. Next up is The Third Wheel. Now again you ask, why? Well, this book is about romance, and you know me. Don't tell anyone. I hate love. Sounds weird, but it's true. Love is just really cringe. So this book is definitely... So if you like love, this book's for you. Not really, but yeah. My god, I got this book when Wrecking Ball was just released. It's a weird part of the anime books like that, but yeah. But, you know, that's not the only thing. This book was also really boring, and it was just... well, basically the title. And probably, like, more than half the book was about nothing about this third wheel. The only thing that actually happened at the end was the third wheel when Riley was, like, basically the third wheel on the date and ruined everything. And that was only in, like, 12 pages. So what the hell? Author, you got some explaining to do. Next up is The Deep End. Now, this book was absolute bad. Like, when this book came out, I was really disappointed to find out how, how Diary of a Wimpy Kid changed. If you have seen the video, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is not the same anymore. Which was actually before Diary of a Wimpy Kid Diaper Overload was released. Which means, well, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Deep End is, the book. Pretty nice, but it's just, meh. I don't know, but third book taking on a road trip, and it's not really the thing. Like, isn't there another book where it's break through the summer and actually, because this book had nothing relatable inside, and the end just didn't, it literally seemed like Diary of a Wimpy fan fiction. I'm not even joking. It literally seemed like nothing was, like, potential in this book. It literally had, like, no point. Like, this book was just boring, to be honest. And it didn't really seem like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It just seemed like almost like fan fiction, because this book was weird, and I was really disappointed when this came out. So yeah, this book on the list now. Next up is Hard Luck. Hard hit. Shut up, Connor. Hard Luck is the 8th book in the series, you probably already know, which, why didn't they put 8 as the spine, to be honest? Like, why? Hopefully they did that with the Penguin book. You probably know where, in the Penguin books, when they publish, they actually put images instead of the numbers. Which, hopefully that's the name. I swear to Jeff Kidding right now. But Hard Luck, you're probably wondering why this is really low. Another book that's really boring, and I got this one when the Meltdown was just released, which, surprise. Still got the older editions, but once again, this book's really boring. It has no potential, or it has no main, and it's one of the books where there's like a bunch of other mixed up stuff where, like, the ideas just go all over the place, and it doesn't really make sense. And then, like, when you get to 100 pages in the book, that's when you finally find the part where the title actually takes place in the book. But that only happens a little bit. Like, to be honest, this book was pretty bland, and it had no potential point in the book. It was just another one of those books where it's just all over the place, and just goofy ideas that make my brain hurt. Next up is Diary of a Wimpy Diaper Overload. Now, this is a surprise for this being so low, because this is actually the newest book. If you do remember the Diary of a Wimpy Kid Diaper Overload review, then you might know that I actually sort of like this book. But that changed over the time. For this being so low, the book seemed really crammed at the end, and there really was... Because as you can see, this book is called Diary of a Wimpy Diaper Overload. Now the author knew that the fans were pretty mad about Rodrick not being in most of the book. But for this, like, Diaper Overload, Greg was hardly in the book, like, to be honest. Like, really. I'm pretty happy that Rodrick got his point in the book, but Greg barely was in it. And judging by the cover image here, he was only in the ending a little bit. Like, bro, what is this twerking, dude? That's not appropriate. That's not the main point, though. Because seriously, seeing how Greg enjoys the band, that was like freaking 200 pages into the book. Like, bro. Took me a while to find out until Greg actually got into the band, and none of them won, and it was actually... The ending seemed really unfinished, and I was disappointed to find out that nothing really went their way at the end, and yeah. It seemed really unfinished. And seeing how this is actually the last book, or hopefully there's an 18th say, that this book was in-depth. It was still a good book, but it's definitely not the best. Because, again, it's another one of these books where the ideas are just all over the place, and the only main point is Rodrick actually being in the freaking band, and yeah. It's not a bad book, but it's definitely not one of the best. Next up is The Getaway. Now, pretty much, they're just on another road trip, and it's been used, like, already another time. And yes, I'm saying one time because the deep end was released after this book. Pay more attention. But Diary of a Wimpy: The Getaway is just a book, and the first few pages until they get to the book, like, I mean, at least they get straight into the book, which is actually the good part. But this book seemed boring, and it's really bland, and I have no idea how to explain. Seriously though, this book was another boring one, and it didn't seem as entertaining and sailing. This was a bit more relatable, but it's still pretty low just because of the amount of stuff. Yeah, another road trip, but it's not the best idea, like, on a road trip. Because the road trip ideas are not the best, and when it comes to road trips, the author does not have a best idea to it. So, it's really just more vacation stories, and it doesn't make sense at all. That was loud. Next up is Diary of a Wimpy Wrecking Ball. Oh my god! Shut up! Diary of a Wimpy Wrecking Ball is the 14th book in the series, which... yeah. Once again, it's another one of these books where I have to get into like 200 pages in the book just to find the point title of the story! I have no idea why the author keeps doing this kind of stuff, but, the book, this is actually the first book of the series that changed the way I like Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I mean, Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Deep End, which is all the way down there, definitely wasn't a good one, but this is also another one that isn't really good, is because it's less, this is another one that's less relatable, like, to be honest. It just seems crammed, and the ideas are getting lower and lower. I still like the idea that Greg is moving, but the idea that the house gets destroyed, that Manny built his own house, doesn't seem relatable at all. Like, Manny's only fleeing. Wait, oh, I need to shut up. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Wrecking Ball is, yeah, oh my god, over 200 pages. Now, like, this book was barely about Wrecking Ball, like, to be honest. Like, look at this. The Wrecking Ball only showed up on one page. One page. I'm not talking about the cover. One freaking page. And it was the one where Rodrick had the idea to smash the opening with a Wrecking Ball. But nothing in this book literally had a Wrecking Ball. The whole point of this book was the title and no Wrecking Balls. just complete destruction. And even if you want to see the destruction, you have to get into 206 pages in the book until you can find the point. Next up is Diary of a Wimpy, the Meltdown. Now, this book is really bland and it's boring. Again, yep. Another one of those books where it's not... What the... Why is my book cracking? I don't know why it's cracking, but... This is another book... Oh my god, I've been saying another a lot of times. Another book that doesn't really focus on the title, and it just has ideas out all over the place. I have no idea why the author keeps doing this. It's not as entertaining or whatever, and the yeah. It just goes all over the place. And this is actually one of the first books that has an all-picture, no words, 2-page panel that features an entire picture. Now, the author looked like he had a lot of fun with this, but the rest of the book just was bland, and the fight took half the book. But even though it actually got to the point earlier, it was boring, like, to be honest. So yeah, it's not too low, but it's not the best. It's a meh. I'll give it a meh. Next up, Diary of a Wimpy, the Log Haul. Now this is one of the better books because it's the 9th one instead of like the 17th. Oh my god. But seriously, Diary of a Wimpy, the Log Haul is actually a decent book, and I really liked when it was relatable. Yeah. But this is the first road trip book, which the author actually had the idea. Now I heard that this was supposed to be the original cover, but the author came with this one, and yeah. I mean, it would have been better if the author used that one, because look at that face. I actually want that on the spine, to be honest, instead of another bland face. But that's not the point. Diary of a Wimpy, the Log Haul is another meh book, but it's a little better, because it's actually relatable, but it's... The ideas are all over the place, and it hurts my brain. But it's a bit more relatable, and that's what matters. Up, Diary of a Wimpy, The Ugly Truth. Now, this is one of the books, where it's good and bad. Diary of a Wimpy, The Ugly Truth is, like, another relatable book. But this is the first one where the idea, the accurate and original idea stopped. And the author just started going with more made-up stuff. But the only accurate page was this. This is the only accurate pages. But this is not as relatable, but the reason why this is a bit higher than the other books is actually higher than Diary of a Wimpy Diaper Overload. That's a surprise. But Diary of a Wimpy, The Ugly Truth is not bad, because it's actually a bit more relatable, but it's not the best relatable book, because it doesn't have much to it. And The Ugly Truth the title barely has anything to do with the book itself. Stop! Diary of a Wimpy Big Shot. Now, surprisingly, this is way higher than Diary of a Wimpy Diaper Overload. It's because this book actually focuses way more on Greg, and the ideas are a lot more original, relatable, and accurate. But it's still not the best one. It's because we all predicted the ending, where he was going to win the game. But the thing we were not expecting is for him to be put in the other team. I really like the idea how he started basketball, which is the reason why this is a lot higher than the other books. Mainly because Greg actually played sports, which is actually what got me really excited. So if you do remember in the Diary of a Wimpy Diaper Overload review, where I said I wasn't even as excited for this book. Diary of a Wimpy Big Shot, I was not really as excited since the actual book itself just features Greg basically starting sports. To be honest, I actually really was excited for this book, but I was excited more for Diary of a Wimpy Diaper Overload, so that's what I meant. But this was actually still better than Diary of a Wimpy Diaper Overload. It's because the idea and getting to the point. Because this whole book was basically about him trying out, and it took place and actually made the cover and the title. and it's the only original idea, and not anything else. So that's why I really like this book. And we still got a few more. Next up, Diary of Wimpy Kid Old School. And yes, I know, this is the last original book, the last relatable book, the last accurate book. But Diary of Wimpy Kid Old School was the last accurate and relatable book. Just because, I mean, yeah. So this book is actually pretty high on the ranking. And that's why it's really high, because it's just relatable. I really like the relatable ideas, how they are original, and how we all think. It was almost like the first book, because the author knew how to put the books. I really like this book, because... When this release again? 2015. I didn't even know Diary of Wimpy Kid 2015. When I found this book and bought this book, I was actually really happy that the author was bringing back the original ideas. But realizing there was a 10th book out of, like, 14, that's when Diary of Wimpy Kid Wrecking Ball just released. Actually, no, that was... Diary of Wimpy Kid, The Meltdown, was when I started reading Diary of Wimpy Kid. But this was the last, like, good book. I mean good book. Which is why most of the rest are actually under 10, because we just got past all of the books that were over 10. Next up is Diary of Wimpy Kid, The Last Straw. Oh god, are you serious? The Last Straw? Oh man. Wait, no. It's not even a straw! Dang it, I'm too lazy to go downstairs and get myself a straw. You guys didn't see anything. Diary of Wimpy Kid, The Last Straw is actually a really good book. It's because... Well, it's the third one. And it's more like, it's just one of the first books. The idea, and that it focuses more on the dad, because the dad definitely doesn't have a lot of role in the rest of the series. And I really like how you expect this to be the last book, because it says the end, and it just starts with Dog, and the next book is Dog Days. But, bro, look how much more there is. Bro, actually, no. Get this book. Oh my god! Diary of a Wimpy Kid is going nuts! Diary of a Wimpy Kid is actually getting on it was on a strong start, but then it changed over the time. I have no idea why. So Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Last Straw is actually good because it focuses more on that, and I really like the idea, because it's really relatable. And it was the third book. Next up, Cabin Fever. The idea that they were stuck in at home was a really, really nice idea, because it doesn't really have much potential, and the ideas, it was focusing on one thing, mainly. But I really like the idea how they're stuck inside, and mostly because this was another relatable book. What's with me in that? But yeah, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Cabin Fever. I'm really gonna miss Jeff Kinney's original ideas. Cabin Fever is actually a really, really good idea. And yeah, I hope Jeff Kinney has more ideas in the 18th book. Yes, the 18th. Hopefully that's coming soon. And it better be a good idea! Third on the list, or like ranking, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the original. I still really like this book because it's original and it has plenty of ideas. Now, this book doesn't really focus on one thing because it doesn't have a title. But it's the original book. That's what I like about it. And it's 100% relatable when he starts middle school. And he's in 6th grade. And the rest of the series is him just in 8th grade. Oh my god, when is he getting out of middle school? Next up on the list is actually the second to last, Diary of Wimpy Kid, Rodrick Rules. I absolutely love this book. This book is really, really nice. And this time it actually focuses on Rodrick, which is the character we all like. But remember when I said Diary of Wimpy Kid Overlord focus on too much Rodrick? Well, this book doesn't really have, like, it actually has it in the name, and it still has Greg featured in it, and it's relatable. Like, it has Greg and Rodrick in it. So that's why this is actually better than Diary of Wimpy Kid Overload, and it's 100% more relatable. So yeah, I like that. Last one is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days. This is my favorite book because it focuses on a summer camp, which was the last idea. Like, no other ideas were like that. Jeff Kinney have more ideas where he's on a summer vacation and has ideas like these. It's so relatable because a summer vacation, and I love the idea, and like, it's just It's so accurate, though. It's great. Even though it's still all over the place, it still focuses on the summer, and don't take me too seriously when it's the dog days, because that's literally just a figure of speech. That's my Diary of a Wimpy Kid review. Oh my god, I threw way too many books down there. But yeah, wait, hold on. If I got to get rid of these 3, now I gotta clean that up. So that's my Diary of a Wimpy Kid review on all the books. Hopefully when the 18th one reveals, it's actually good that time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel. Dislike this video, because this is another book review. Pick one yourself instead of watching this shit. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.